Hello and welcome to the first ever episode of the St. Joe's NBA preseason preview show. I'm Ben Chadwick, joined today by Jaden Hunter, Jock Imperiali, and Matt Friedman. And guys, let's get right into it. You see the banner up there on the screen. It's a pretty hot topic. Is Victor Wembanyama the best college prospect or NBA draft prospect, I should say, since LeBron James? Jaden, I'll throw it to you first.
Personally, I cannot see him as being the best prospect since LeBron James. Obviously, as we see Chet Holmgren, same size, similar size. I mean, he's already having health issues as he's already hurt. Same size coming in, and he's not even playing against American competition. He's playing overseas at St. Joe's. I mean, we just saw the England team come play St. Joe's, and we saw how just completely terrible it was. I mean, it wasn't terrible, but you know what I'm saying. So obviously, it's going to be a big adjustment for him. I'm willing to see how he adjusts to American competition. What about you guys?
I'll chime in right here.
Yeah, I'll have Freeman chime in.
Okay. Yeah. So, I just think that's ridiculous. I mean, he just went off. He just faced off against G League Ignite, and this is filled with some of the top draft prospects going into this year. I mean, Scoot Henderson is the number 2 prospect next to Victor, and he was on the floor in that G League Ignite game. And Victor dropped 37 points, 5 blocks, 4 rebounds, 7 for 11 from 3, and 8 for 12 from the free throw line. I don't think we've ever seen a prospect that has 0 holes in his game. Like, this guy has elite shot blocking ability. He's very efficient from the free throw line and from past the three-point arc. I don't see how you could point to any other prospect besides LeBron who has a higher ceiling than he does, going into the league. He's 7'3", 210 pounds. I mean, the only problem is his wiry frame, but you can't point to Chet and say he's a guaranteed injury, that he's going to be a bust. Because, I mean, you look at Manu Paul, he played in the league for 10-plus years. He never really had any injury concerns, and they both have similar play styles. They both shoot the three a lot. So I just don't see – I mean, the injury scare I can understand, but this guy is so good where he's worth the number 1 draft pick, because if there's no injuries and he grows into his full potential, he could be the best player we've ever seen.
Well, yeah. I mean, let me chime in, please. We see Wembanyama, he's averaging 15.2 per game overseas, and LaMelo Ball was another player who played overseas. He was averaging 18.2 per game. So, I mean, I'm definitely interested to see how it happens. I mean, LaMelo Ball is taking over the NBA very quickly. He's definitely coming in very hot. So, I mean, Jock, I don't know what you're looking at me like that for, but LaMelo Ball, he's coming in, and he was averaging 18.2 overseas. I'm just interested to see what Wembanyama has.
Yeah, Jock, before you get going, Jaden, you mentioned the competition being a problem with Wembanyama. So, like, what does that say about guys like Luka Doncic? You already mentioned LaMelo Ball. Like, he's destroying professional men out there in France, and yet you're mentioning the competition as if they're that much worse than college basketball, which, I mean, they might even be better.
I mean, you're on the right track. I mean, I just want to see what it looks like against NBA talent, because he's coming in with a bunch of bigs who are very good at defending. I mean, we have Bam Adebayo, Giannis Antetokounmpo. Who else we have? We have Rudy Gobert, Karl Anthony Towns. I'm very interested to see how his offense translates into the NBA.
Yeah, real quick, I don't want to go after a St. Joe's alum here, but mentioning Karl Anthony Towns as an elite defender is an interesting take there.
Not only as an elite defender, he's an elite center is what I'm trying to get out.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. Jock, how about you?
So I think he has to be, because you can't deny his projectability. He's a 7'3" big man. He creates so much space. He's averaging like at least 4 assists a game overseas. And Jaden's talking about how he's not playing good talent. Matt literally mentioned he was literally just playing G League Ignite, who probably has some of the top draft prospects, and he just utterly dominated them. Like, it's not even close. He's 7'3" with a silky smooth jump shot and one of the best shot blocking abilities we've ever seen.
And guys, he moves like he's a point guard, shooting guard. Like, he's 7'3", and he's he's making moves that 7'3" guys are not supposed to make. I think that's something to point out.
He could 100% play the forward on any NBA team. I would. He really is a stretch big at this point. He is not only a center. He could definitely play power forward, small forward for an NBA team because he has that Kevin Durant type of build. Obviously, he's just a lot taller. And if anything, he just he's just so much like Kevin Durant is my comparison to him.
I'm trying to figure out. Okay.
Well, you did.
I mean, I'm just interested to see how he plays in the NBA. I mean, the NBA is a guard-heavy league right now. We have Stephen Curry, Damian Lillard, Ja Morant. Such a heavy guarded NBA right now. I'm interested to see how a center could take over the league.
Yeah, Matt.
Yeah, so to respond directly with what you just said, I'll say it's definitely guard style of play oriented, but if you look at Luka Doncic, that's a big guard, and he's dominating the league. It's the 3-point shot is becoming more prominent in today's game, but I don't think it's capped on how tall you are. So, who would even guard this guy, if we're going to be honest? I mean, there's no solid fact on how tall he is. He's listed at 7'2" a lot of places. Victor himself said he was 7'3" barefoot. So he's in that range, but he moves like a point guard. So are you going to take Rudy Gobert or that type of player out of the paint to guard him up top? I feel like they would get lost. Or do you stick a guard or a forward on him when he's got at least a half a foot of height on his defender? I just don't understand how you could possibly guard this guy. He's an absolute nightmare to game plan against. There's no way that he isn't the best prospect we've seen since LeBron James.
Yeah, and Jock, I see you raising your hand like we're in Mr. Herring's English class. So, yeah, you're up next.
Yeah, the only thing I can say about a guy guarding Victor is the only guy I can name off the top of my head that I could see having a chance to get against him is Giannis, because Giannis is, as we know, such an amazing defender. But, I mean, again, I agree with Matt completely. You can't bring, especially a big man, unless you're bringing out like Embiid, you can't bring a big man out of the paint to come guard this guy. He moves so well. He beats them by 2 steps off the dribble anyway. And he can just create so much space. And he also dishes the ball very well, too. His assist is one of the most underrated part of his game. He can pass the ball very, very well. He has great court vision.
Yeah, and Jock, what you just said, I mean, if the only guy who's got like a good chance of locking him down is Giannis Antetokounmpo, I think we got a special talent incoming for the NBA draft. So I think that could answer our question. Obviously, some people are going to agree and disagree, but I think it's an interesting topic to bring up because it's been a while since LeBron has come in the league, but like, who are some names we could think of? Like, you got Zion Williamson, maybe like a Derrick Rose. But other than that, like, I think this is, for me, this is the best prospect since LeBron James. Yeah, so we'll move on. Actually, we got a comment.
Really quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, really quick. I mean, unfortunately, Scoot Henderson, if we're talking the past 10 years, he would be the number 1 pick in multiple draft classes that we've seen in the past. And it's just unfortunate that he's going to have to be, overshadowed by Victor. But I just want to give him some props. I mean, this guy is also going to be another superstar. So whoever gets the top 2 picks in this draft, they're building their franchise around some superstar caliber players.
Yeah, and as the season goes on, we're going to get more and more episodes in. But yeah, Scoot is a guy, like, even in Zion's draft, like, I think there's a good chance Scoot goes number 1 ahead of Zion. So you kind of feel bad for him, but it's cool to see a kind of 2-headed monster in the draft. We actually have a comment. I think we're all going to agree. Would we rather Victor Wembanyama in Phoenix instead of DeAndre Ayton if you're the Phoenix Suns?
Yes, indeed. As a Phoenix Suns fan, I mean, I would love him in Phoenix. I mean, DeAndre Ayton, he's just not getting it done at the moment. So, yeah, I need him in Phoenix.
Yeah, what we just said, he may be the best prospect since LeBron James. So there's pretty much almost nobody who would be a better option for the Suns other than Victor Wembanyama. So I think that answers your question right there. So, guys, we're going to move on to each of our sleeper teams going into the year. Jaden, I'll throw it to you first.
My sleeper team is the Cleveland Cavaliers. I mean, not a lot of people are going to look at them, but the addition of Donovan Mitchell it's a key factor for the Cleveland Cavaliers.
All right, Jock.
So my sleeper team, I'm going to go with the Indiana Pacers. Why? There's a couple reasons why. First of all, I feel like the East this year is not that strong. Obviously, we know the Western Conference is packed with these star-studded teams. I feel like I can name at least 8 teams that I think are championship-bound teams that could make the championship in the West. I feel like the East is a little bit weaker, but I think the Pacers are due for a big year. I'm really high on Tyrese Halliburton. I love his game. He averaged 15.3 points per game last year. I love his court vision, and he's pairing up with Buddy Hield in his backcourt, which I think it's maybe one of the most underrated backcourts in the NBA. And then I love the Benedict Mathurin pick. He could definitely be a six-man off the bench in his first year, and I believe that. He has so much talent. He can shoot the lights out, and I have no doubt in my mind that he could definitely be a stud in a couple of years.
Yeah, I gotta say that's probably the first time I've ever heard a Pacers talked about for like a sleeper team. But I gotta respect it, Jock. Some of the points you made were definitely valid, Matt.
Yeah, I'm definitely, before I jump into my sleeper team, I'm definitely not going to respect that pick. I mean, Tyrese Halliburton, I agree. I think he is going to be a star in this league, but you listed Benedict, who's going to be probably a six-man. He'll be a solid rookie.
Yeah.
But, I mean, Tyrese is very young. I think he could definitely have a breakout year, but him and Buddy Hield, you say they're underrated. They're one of the most mid-backcourts in the entire NBA. They're definitely in the bottom half.
They're so young.
And
okay. They're both so young and have so much potential. Now, am I saying that the Pacers are going to win the championship this year? Obviously, no. But I think that they could most definitely make the playoffs in the East as a 7 or 8 seed. That's all I'm saying.
Well, you guys are saying a lot of young talent. I'm talking about the Cleveland Cavaliers. The Cleveland Cavaliers have veterans like Kevin Love. I mean, six-man Ricky Rubio. Let's be honest. All right, we have Jared Allen, Donovan Mitchell, Darius Garland, Evan Mobley. I think the Cleveland Cavaliers are a sleeper.
No,
if you're laughing that much while you're giving out your sleeper team, how much can we really trust
I just need you to answer.
Do you even believe in your own sleeper team?
I do believe in my own team. I mean,
that's hard to believe. Matt, I'll let you go to your sleeper team.
All right, so my sleeper team going into the 2023 season most definitely is the Memphis Grizzlies. I mean, you're talking about a team that was, in the top 2 in the West, last year. I mean, you can't fault their front office. I could definitely argue that they have the best front office in the league at this moment. They've drafted guys like Dylan Brooks, Desmond Bane, who are turning out to be stars in the second round. So if you give them another fresh draft class and their very young team another year to improve chemistry and to just improve overall, I don't see how they can't be another top 5 at least seed in the West. I understand the West is loaded, but if you look up and down the West last year, you would probably have a hard time telling me that they would be a top 5 seed, yet they came out being the number 2 seed in the West. So I don't see how they are listed as a 8, 7, 6 seed in a lot of people's playoff predictions when, this is a team that was 2 games shy of beating the Warriors last year.
Jock, I see you. You're raising your hand and getting very antsy over there. What do you have to say?
So, first of all, the Grizzlies are not a sleeper team. The Grizzlies, personally, are in my top 5 in the West. Not even close. I think the Grizzlies are one of the most talented teams in the West. If I'm calling out a sleeper team, I'm talking about a team that didn't place that well last year, like the Cavs. I love Jaden's Cavs pick. I think that's a great pick. A lot of young potential on that team. The Grizzlies have already established themselves as one of the most star-studded teams in the West. They have so much young talent. John Morant, we know, is such a great player, and they can just build around him and continue. I think that the Memphis Grizzlies are easily going to be a top 3 seed in the West this year.
Yeah, and guys, something I want to point out before I get to my sleeper team. There was an interesting stat last year. I believe the Grizzlies were about 23-6 when John Morant wasn't on the court or wasn't playing for them, but they significantly got worse in terms of record when he was on the court. So it's a question I want to throw out there. How do the Grizzlies get worse when Ja is on the court for some reason?
Can I answer first and then?
Go ahead, Ja.
So I think yes and no. So obviously you can't be worse when a player with the talent of John Morant is on the court. He is one of the best guards in the NBA. He has athleticism like prime Derrick Rose, and his jump shot is just improving every year. His numbers are going up. He's just going to keep getting better. But I think the reason why the Grizzlies are better sometimes when Ja isn't playing is that the Grizzlies are a heavy shooting team. The Grizzlies love to shoot the 3 ball, and they hit the 3 ball a lot. You look at guys like Desmond Bane, who personally was my most improved player last year. Desmond Bane shot the lights out last year. He was amazing. So, I mean, those are really my only points. But I think maybe it's a little bit like unlucky with the schedule or something. But You can't physically be worse when a player like John Moran is on the court with your team.
Guys, any thoughts?
I completely agree with Jock. I mean, Ja is such a special talent in our league today. So, I could kind of see both sides with the record, but I think honestly there has to be something like luck with the record because Ja is just so amazing in our NBA today.
Matt?
Yeah. I as someone who watched the Grizzlies a lot last year, that's my team. For those who didn't know, I think in the playoffs, if you or in any sort of big game, if you ask any NBA fan, are the Grizzlies better with Ja or without Ja, you'll take the superstar in your team any day of the week. But if you look at the games where the Grizzlies would struggle with Ja on the court, and then when he wasn't on the court, and you see the difference, Ja is a special scorer, but his way of scoring is unconventional, especially for a guard. He's very ball dominant. He's a great passer, but he holds the ball for a long time and he takes the ball into the paint, which, he needs to take a lot more shots to drop 30 or 40 points than other guys like Curry who hit threes and do their scoring a little more efficiently. So I think when Ja's off the court, what you see sometimes is more opportunities for Desmond Bane to create off the dribble. I think Dylan Brooks is a very underrated scorer, and Jaren Jackson gets a little more space as well. I don't think they're better with Ja off the court, but I think in some ways it opens up, the scoring potential for the Batman or the Robins to the Batman, which is Ja.
Yeah, no, and to add on to that, Matt, I think it's kind of a thing where the team chemistry when Ja isn't on the court, it seems like they're all there isn't a superstar, so they're all able to work together. But when Ja is on the court, you feel almost like it's necessary that you need to feed him the ball. And when you do that, some of the chemistry could get messed up. And I think that's why we saw their record kind of fluctuate when Ja is on and off the court. So we'll get over to my sleeper team. I know a lot of people are talking about him. A lot of people have him as their sleeper team as well. But for me, it's the New Orleans Pelicans. I mean, Zion Williamson missed the entire last year. But, guys, when he played, he was an absolute unit. He was unreal when he was on the court. And, I mean, you also got guys like C.J. McCollum, who played way better than any expectation last year. Brandon Ingram is only getting better. You got Valanciunas, Larry Nance Jr., Herb Jones is one of the best defenders in the NBA alongside Jose Alvarado. These guys are ballers. And I think this is a top 4 seed in their conference this year. Yeah, I was expecting some backlash.
Ooh, I agree with you.
I would definitely listen. I agree with every single thing
except the last thing
said. I think the Pelicans definitely going to be a team a lot of people are sleeping on right now, but I don't understand the top 4 seed in the conference. I think for sure the Golden State Warriors will be the better team. I think for sure the Clippers will be ahead of them. I think for sure the Nuggets will be ahead of them with Jamal Murray coming back.
Grizzlies.
I think for sure the Grizzlies will be ahead of them. And, I mean, you can make an argument for the Phoenix Suns as well. And then I'm personally not high on the Lakers, but some could argue that the Lakers with LeBron James.
We're going to the Suns and Lakers before we go to the Timberwolves, Matt?
Oh, okay. And then I'll go Timberwolves. I have the betting.
I proved myself wrong, but I had to point that out.
So for the Western Conference, so I'm going down the line with those.
I mean,
that's fair. Yeah, I think we all agree about that.
But you're looking at 6 teams that are. I'm pretty confident are going to finish ahead of.
It is a loaded Western Conference. So I think maybe if we switch the roles and throw them in the Eastern Conference, maybe my take makes a little more sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just the difference between the two.
I can get on board with that.
Yeah.
Nah. I'm on board with Chadwick right now. I honestly believe that the New Orleans Pelicans can be one of the top teams in the West. I mean,
you think that they're a 4 seed in the playoffs, Jaden?
I honestly do think that. I mean,
so
the Lakers have their flaws.
Who do you think that they're better than? Who do you think that they're better than? Think they're better than all right, you want to go? You go.
Yeah. So first of all, realistically, for the Pelicans to be a 4 seed, we need Zion Williamson to pretty much become LeBron James. Let's be honest, because he's gonna have to be their number 1 scoring options. I mean, Brandon Ingram is obviously such a great player. Yeah, I agree with the comment that we have on screen. Brandon Ingram he was one of the most improved players last year. I mean, Brandon Ingram is just going to keep getting better. But I don't believe Zion Williamson's dropping 40 a night to take them to the top 4 in the Western Conference.
Who said he needs to do that?
Who said he needed to do that? Yes, C.J. McCollum right by his side.
I like CJ a lot, but CJ's not going to drop more than 20 points a game.
I agree with Glock's with his positioning, but I don't really agree with his explanation. Let's just go side to side. Like, do you think that they'll be better than the Golden State Warriors this year?
No.
Do you think that they'll be better than the Clippers this year?
No. I think it's a possibility.
Okay,
all
right, Matt. Let me explain for me and Jaden.
I think
Clippers are either going to be a top 2 seed or they'll be barely making the playoffs. There's no in between.
Who'd they lose? Who'd they lose? Who made them worse? They got John Wall, who's a good bench piece. Obviously, he's not prime John Wall. He's not that great.
Kawhi Leonard,
I think they will be.
I know he's also coming back from injury. I'm getting there too. Like they didn't lose anyone. They just got better, if anything.
I think they will be that top 2 seed. But I'm just saying, if they're not, then something really wrong happened, and we could see a repeat of last year where they're just barely making the playoffs or the play-in.
And if Steph Curry murders his team and Draymond Green bombs the facility, like the Warriors aren't going to make the playoffs either. But let's be real here. The Clippers have one of the best lineups in the NBA. You can't really say that they're gonna perform not as well as the Pelicans. And then all right, so Jaden, you think that the Pelicans are gonna outperform the Clippers this year?
I think it's a possibility. I can't say definitely, but I think it's a possibility.
I'll disagree with Jane on this one. I got the Clippers over the Clippers over the Pelicans.
Dude, the Pelicans, you're sleeping on Jackson Hayes. Jackson Hayes is a center who could dunk on just about anyone.
I didn't even mention him, yeah.
Jose Alvarado is stealing balls off anyone. It doesn't matter. Off the bench, Willie Hernan Gomez is one of the best centers off the bench.
Keep naming the teams. Let's keep
going.
All right,
how about the Denver Nuggets?
That's a close one, man.
Yeah, that's pretty close. I think I'll lean Pelicans up.
I would agree with that. I think
Pelicans have the stars, but in terms of complete team, it's got to go to the Pels.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
All right, what about the Memphis Grizzlies?
I got the Pels. I
got the Pelicans.
Oh,
I got the Pelicans.
Unreal. I don't see how the Grizzlies literally lose nobody from their roster last year after being a 2 seed in the West, and they're a very young team. Everyone's getting better. The chemistry is growing. They've only gained more experience. How is the Pelicans team when you just place Zion Williamson on the floor? How do they automatically? But I'm saying just by adding Zion.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. You have to see Zion.
I think he's that type of player.
Yeah, you have to add Zion with his points, his rebounds, his blocks. You have to add all of that plus CJ McCollum shooting for him.
Well, you don't just add, like, you understand what I'm saying? Like, if the Pelicans score, let's just say 110 points per game with Zion on the floor, and then they score 105 with Zion off the floor, these numbers are just kind of made up, but you'll understand what I'm talking about. The point, you don't just add points. Like, minutes have to be taken away from other guys when Zion gets added to the floor. So it's not just adding his points, adding his rebounds. Like, he is a superstar caliber player. I'm not disagreeing with that. I just don't think that the chemistry and for the lack of chemistry that the New Orleans Pelicans have and their inexperience in big moments in the playoffs, I just don't understand how they could be put again ahead of the Warriors, the Clippers, the Grizzlies, the Nuggets, and honestly potentially the Mavericks with Luka, with Christian Wood now.
We just keep skipping over the Timberwolves, man. What's going on?
It's all right. So then, what about the Timberwolves?
I gotta go to the Timberwolves. I mean, adding Rudy Gobert, elite defense in the defense. I mean, he could stop Zion Williamson, no doubt.
Now that we're naming all these teams, top 4 might be a very little bit of a stretch, but then I'll just throw top 5. I think they're a top 5 team in the West.
Top 5 that can be justified, but I think top 4 there's a very, very solid 4 teams that I wouldn't put anyone ahead of.
We'll agree on top. Oh, Jock, you want to say something real quick?
I just want to make 2 quick points before we wrap up this segment. Number 1 is with the Pelican side of it with Zion. We also have to remember that their coaching and their front office has not been great over the years. Obviously, their best move was drafting Zion in the draft, but they've had major coaching problems over the past couple of years. So, I mean, you can't disregard that. And again, like Matt said, they're very inexperienced in the playoffs, haven't made the playoffs a lot. I mean, there's a lot of ifs in this Pelicans team. And then also one more thing I want to point out, Jaden pretty much said that the Timberwolves are a better team than the Grizzlies, and I just want to ask why.
Oh, I completely agree with Jaden.
Well, John Morant he's going to be going into the paint. If you're going into the paint, you have Karl Anthony Towns and Rudy Gobert in the paint.
I'm not saying
Karl Anthony Towns like a wet noodle in the paint. I don't know what he's doing to stop John Morant. I mean,
You're
he
gonna
is one
tell
of the
me-
goofiest
You're
defenders.
gonna tell
in
me
the
a
NBA.
7-footer just standing up there with his hands in the air
Okay,
isn't going to
have-
be able to stop Ja Morant.
Oh,
Have we
we've
not seen
seen
Ja Morant
that
dunk on, like,
story
every player
several
in the league?
times, and the
All right,
7-footer gets quite
just-
embarrassed.
Just something to throw out. The Wolves and the Grizzlies went to a game 6 last year in the playoffs, right?
Hmm
We don't think Gobert is the difference between the Wolves being a better team now.
Yeah,
I think
definitely.
that those two teams are both top 4, top 5 teams in the West. It'll just, there's a lot of ifs. I don't know how Karl Anthony Towns is going to, how his game is going to translate once Rudy Gobert is stuck in the middle of the paint.
Yeah.
Is Karl Anthony Towns going to be able to defend a guy like Jaren Jackson Jr. on the perimeter? I mean, if you look at how he did in the perimeter last year, it was quite embarrassing. So, I mean, there's a lot of ifs. We have to see how it pans out. But in terms of roster and build and chemistry, I think the Grizzlies and the Timberwolves are very even and two teams that could definitely make some noise in the West.
No, I'm completely fine with that. Yeah, and we guys in the comments, we see Dominic, we see your comment about the Mavs. We have an episode coming up where we're going to be going over the entire playoff. We're going to have a few guys giving their complete playoff predictions. So that's kind of when we'll touch on teams like the Mavericks and other teams like that. But for right now, we're going to get to our end of season award predictions. So Jaden, let's start it off with the Coach of the Year prediction.
Coach of the Year, you guys need to stop sleeping on him. Steve Kerr is the best coach in the NBA. I mean, he has a 682 win percentage, 93 playoff wins. Honestly, he's the best coach in the NBA. You guys need to stop giving it out to Monty Williams or other coaches. Steve Kerr, he's the best in the league.
Sure. Jock.
So I'm not going to disagree with James' point at all. I think Steve Kerr is definitely he's going to be top 2, top 3 in coaching's voting. Personally, though, I do have to go with Tom Thibodeau of my New York Knicks. So there are a couple points I can make here. I know Matt's going to moan and groan about this, but let's be honest here. Tom Thibodeau is an older play style coach. I get that. If the Knicks make the playoffs this year, which I think they will, because I think that they will.
You guys think you're making the playoffs every year?
Oh.
So,
If I hit the lottery tomorrow, I can buy us some new air conditioning.
no.
But will it happen?
First of all,
Probably not.
First of all, we can't disregard Tom Thibodeau was top 5 in Coach of the Year last year. We can't disregard that. He was top 5 in voting last year in Coach of the Year. So can we all agree on that? Because that's a fact.
I mean,
Sure,
I guess I can agree on it.
I mean, is the ad of Jalen Brunson really gonna get you guys?
No, and I'm not saying again. I personally love Jalen Brunson. I'm not that high on him. He's not a number 1 scoring option. And again,
Who's taking you to the playoffs? Then?
Who's taking you to the playoffs?
How are you making the
it's
playoffs?
going to be a team contribution.
Oh, there it is.
It's going to be a team
Participation award.
I'm saying
Participation
that
award.
Tom Thibodeau has had success and has established himself as one of the best coaches in the league. And I think the Knicks could have a decent year where we win a fair amount of games. And Tom Thibodeau he builds a culture around his team, and I really like the culture that he builds.
I think that you're getting a little bit caught up in the New York Giants' success, and it doesn't translate from sport to sport. I mean, this miraculous year that Daboll's putting together, for me, I mean, I know this NBA show. He's the coach of the year in the NFL, but he's 5-1. I mean, you're not gonna 20 games into the season, you're not gonna look at me and tell me that the Knicks are a 500 team. They'll 100% be worse than that. You can't win Coach of the Year when your team's gonna win like 30 games. You can't.
I think that the Knicks will win more games than that. I've looked at
how many games?
How many games I think they'll win out of 82 games? I can see them winning right around 40, 45 games.
Oh
No,
God!
I don't know about that one, Jock.
Wow.
So, for that to happen, I think there's a couple things that need to happen. Number one, it's really this team is so dependent on Julius Randle. It's crazy. Personally, I think they got to get rid of him for a number 1 option because he's not going to go back to all-star form than he was. But if he does, then I can see this team winning 40 games.
What are you guys getting out of Julius Randle?
Unfortunately, you're not the GM of the Knicks, so you have to take the roster at face value. So winning 45, would you say 45, 48 games?
Yeah.
That normally gives you a low-end playoff spot. So I'm just going to ring off some teams right now. They're not going to be better than the Hawks. They're not going to be better than the Celtics. They're not going to be better than the Bulls. They're not going to be better than the Cavs. They're not going to be better than the Heat. They're not going to be better than the Bucks. They're not going to be better than the Nets. They're
Could
not
be.
going to be better than the Sixers.
We don't know. There's a
Could
lot
be.
of ifs.
Oh, my
There's
God.
a lot
yeah,
of ifs.
yeah.
God.
I love Kevin Durant. There is a lot of ifs. Also, you have to remember
Yes,
how
if
injury
Kevin
prone-
Durant's knee falls off and
Exactly.
and-
Dude, you don't
Like-
know with these guys. There's so many injury concerns with this Nets team. There could be a world where Kevin Durant gets injured for a long time and Kyrie is
Yeah,
off the
and
floor for
there's
very
so
long.
many skill concerns with the Knicks team because they're not
yeah,
good.
that's what I'm saying. I don't understand. I really don't
I think the
understand.
Knicks
The
make
Knicks,
us like an 8 seed.
Nah,
An
I got a
an
question
8
for you,
seed.
Jock. I got a
8
question
seed,
for
8 or
you.
9 seed.
Jaden's
So-
raising his hand. Let's give him the floor.
okay, all right.
Jock, you're saying that you guys are willing to trade Julius Randle. What are you
Yeah.
getting for Julius Randle?
What that is? I'm looking for anything.
No one wants Julius Randle.
Couple
I
second
mean-
rounders. That's about it.
I think that they could get something nice for Julius Randle.
Like what?
Something
Like
nice.
what? Like
Give
what?
me throw
Like what?
something out there.
A second round pick?
I think there's teams, especially in today's game, that are really looking to buy at least a role player because Julius Randle is, at the end of the day, he's not a number one option. He's just a role player. That's what
Yeah.
he is.
But
He
he is
should
the
be.
Knicks' number one option. So how are they
I know
winning
that's why we're
48
not
games?
good. I'm not saying that we're great.
But
I'm
you
saying
just
we're
said
great.
you're winning 48
Yeah,
games.
I'm saying
and
it's
Thibodeau's winning
possible.
coach.
You
All
can't
I'm
be
saying
not
is
good and be a
possible.
playoff team, Jock.
Oh Lord.
I'm
Jock,
saying it's
we can
possible.
give you play-in. We can give you play-in, but
I
playoff.
can give him. I can give him 10 seed max. Like
I
the
could go
last
8 or 9.
part of the plan.
I could go 8 or 9.
Okay, so do you think
And I
that
think
they're
we'll
better
lose in
than
the
the
first round. I'll
Hawks?
go with that. I think we'll
The
lose in the
Haw-
first round.
You won't even be playing in the first round. The Hawks, are they better?
The Hawks?
Yes, the
Yeah, they have more
Hawks.
talent than us.
The Celtics.
Yeah.
The Bulls.
Yeah.
The Cavs.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll
Don't
skip
look at our
through
fingers,
teams.
Jock. Just keep saying
Yeah.
yes or no.
The Heat.
Yeah.
The Bucks.
Yep.
And now don't give me any hypothetical like what if Kevin Durant gets shot? The
Okay, so
Brooklyn
if
Nets.
the Nets are healthy, then yeah, the Nets are better than us.
Oh my god. All right, the Sixers.
Yeah.
The Hornets.
There it is.
No.
I'll give him the Hornets.
We're better
The
than the Hornets.
Hornets?
I'll
We're
give,
better than the Hornets.
Okay.
Come
okay.
on.
I'll
You
give him
can't
the
tell me that
Hornets.
we're
You
not
guys,
better
are,
than the
you guys
Hornets.
keep doing LaMelo Ball dirty.
Give him a break in the Hornets. Keep going.
Okay, the Raptors.
No.
I would say the Hornets and the Raptors. I don't know if
Hornets,
you're going to be better than
we
both.
I would
are
say the
right
Raptors
in that
are
same
better.
category as the Hornets and the Raptors.
Oh.
I would
don't
say the
know.
Raptors are a much better
The
team.
number
than
one
New York.
option on the
No
Raptors
question.
is Fred Van Vliet. Like,
And he's Fred VanVleet, Pascal Siakam, way better. And
yeah,
you're
Pascal
forgetting,
Siakam. I
you're
get he
forgetting
gets
about the rookie of the year. You're forgetting about
He's
the rookie
not
of the
that
year.
great. I get he
The
gets
rookie
a
of-
ton of disrespect and it's undeserved, but he's not that great.
He's a
Hey,
clone
that-
of Julius
that-
Randle.
both
He's
of
better.
those players,
He's calling it Julius
both of those
Randle.
players are better than the Knicks' best player. Yep.
Agree?
If you disagreed, you would have been all over me. So that's an agreement.
Yeah. So
and they
then,
got Scotty Barnes. I don't want to hear it, man. Like that's
that's what I'm saying. And I
that's
mean,
9 teams. That's 9
What a-
teams, Jock.
what about your sleeper team, the Indiana Pacers? I didn't even mention
Oh,
them.
that's true.
They're a playing team.
Jock.
Oh,
I said from the
God.
beginning, I didn't say that they'd make a high playoff spot. I think that they're a playing team.
48 wins.
I never said 48
Maybe in the
wins.
GMC.
I never said 48
Maybe
wins.
in the
I said 40.
GMC.
I said 40 wins.
He said maybe in the GMC.
Jock, you got
Am I-
supporters out there. It's us three ganging up on you, but there's a couple supporters. They're
I'm
not
praying
saying
for
they
those
agree with you.
At the
They
end
just
of the
say they like
day-
the passion.
At the
Just
end of the
note
day,
that.
I think that the ceiling for the Knicks is an 8 seed, and I think the floor is like the last seed in the plan. That's all I'm
I
going to
think
say.
the ceiling for them, the best thing for their franchise would be to win 0 games and tank for Victor. I think if
I
they
don't
try to
disagree
win
with that.
games,
I would
they'll
rather
maybe
see
an
that
11
personally,
seed.
but the Knicks are not going to do that. They're one of the biggest markets in the NBA.
All right, that's enough about the Knicks. Matt, how about your coach of the year?
My coach of the year, I'm going to go with Taylor Jenkins. I mean, I think for me, the coach of the year should get determined off of 2 things. Like, I agree Steve Kerr is one of the best coaches in the league, but when your roster is as loaded as it is, I mean,
Yeah.
not only, Draymond and Steph and Clay, we're talking Jordan Poole, we're talking Andrew Wiggins. Like, this is the most star-studded roster in the league, potentially. Just the Grizzlies are kind of – there's still a lot of guys that are sleeping on, Dylan Brooks, Desmond Bane. Ja's a superstar, but there's no proven star to go next to him. It's all kind of very solid young players. So I think any coach that can rein those guys in and get a potential top 3, top 4 seed in the West, I think he's going to be the guy that deserves a coach of the year at the end of the year.
Yeah, the 2 points you made on like how to judge a coach of the year is based on like how good of a coach they are, but the roster. I couldn't agree more on that. Like, yeah, Steve Kerr is one of the best coaches. That's like undeniable. But like, exactly, you look at the roster he has. So yeah, I couldn't agree more. For me, it's tough. I don't want to show my fandom too much, but for me, it's going to be Chris Finch with that Timberwolves team. Like you said, there's not a Ja's a superstar. I think the Timberwolves have two very good players. I wouldn't call Cat or Rudy superstars. I think Anthony Edwards takes a big step up this year, but I think if Chris Finch will be a top 4 seed, I think that's more than impressive for him in the Western Conference, and that's what I think he's going to do. So for me, it's going to be Chris Finch winning Coach of the Year.
100% agree with you there. 100%.
I agree.
I mean,
that was the other guy on my sheet was Chris Finch.
I believe that last year Taylor Jenkins deserved Coach of the Year because, I mean, we haven't really seen the emergence of Desmond Bane. I mean, going into this year we have. We haven't seen Ja take this next step. And, I mean, he delivered the 2 seed. I think Taylor Jenkins 100% last year was his year to win Coach of the Year. But I think the Timberwolves are raw like the Grizzlies were last year. I mean, the Grizzlies are still raw, but they have a little bit of that experience as a young core. I think that if the Timberwolves, show some potential and they ascend to top 4 seed in the West, 100% agree with you.
Yeah, and the Wolves are a very Grizzlies-esque team, which is probably why they had such an incredible series last year.
Yeah.
And I hope we get another series like that this year because those teams are so close in matchup and in skill. So that will be really fun. Jade, we'll throw it to the next award. How about your Rookie of the Year?
Rookie of the Year. Got to go with my favorite Duke Blue Devil, Paolo Banchero. I mean, he's amazing. I think coming into the NBA, got a little bit more trainers to be by his side. I know that his health was an issue last year with, I guess he was like sweating too much, losing too much pounds while he's playing the game. So I think with a bunch of NBA trainers around him, he's going to win Rookie of the Year.
Jock?
So 100%, I agree with Jaden. I like Paulo, but I don't like to be boring. I want to get to another guy who I just want to throw a mention at. I love Jaden Ivey. I think that Jaden Ivey could be such a huge piece to this Pistons roster along Cade Cunningham. I think in 3 years they could just be. I think the Pistons are really going to emerge as a really good team in the East in a couple of years. I mean, obviously, I love Paulo. I think Paulo is definitely probably the favorite to win Rookie of the Year, and his skill set is undeniably. He's probably the best player in this draft. But I just think Jaden Ivey definitely deserves a lot of recognition for how much of an immediate impact he can make with this Pistons team just right away.
I can agree with your points on, Jaden Ivey's skill set, but you also got to look at the situations that they're in. And
Yeah,
the Pistons, very young team. I mean, Cade Cunningham, rookie last year, he missed some time from injury.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to be the guy that dominates the ball. So I don't really see Ivey winning over, Paolo, Jabari, and Keegan Murray, which is my pick. I just don't see them winning when Jaden Ivey's a point guard. He's not going to be bringing up the ball the majority of the time.
No, I'll make two quick points. I completely agree with you. I believe that Cade Cunningham is 100% the guy in Detroit. I'm not denying that, but I'm saying if you look back on previous Rookie of the Years, not all of them are superstars. There are people who have won Rookie of the Year who are the 2 option on a team. Just guys who make these immediate impacts with their team. And I think Jaden Ivey could make a big impact with the Pistons. I'm not saying, again, he's not going to be the number 1 option. I still believe that is Cade. And, so, I mean, I really do have faith that Jaden Ivey's skill set is undeniable. But my point for the Kings is, with Keegan Murray, De'Aaron Fox is clearly the number 1 option in Sacramento.
Well, you just completely contradicted yourself. You just completely contradicted
but I'm just saying that I feel as if De'Aaron Fox is more of an established player than Cade Cunningham is, and that if we're being honest, De'Aaron Fox is more clear cut of a number 1 option than Cade Cunningham is. Let's be honest.
Well, okay. Well, first of all, just completely contradicted yourself. You just said that.
I get it, contradicting myself a little bit, but again, I never said Jaden Ivey was the number 1 option in Detroit.
But my point is that Jaden Ivey and Cade Cunningham, they share a position. So
they do, but I think Ivey's position is better than Keegan Murray's is.
Well, we can't be squabbling about what position is better. I don't even know how you can establish that.
Okay, would you rather be on a team with a rookie who was injured for half the year last year with great potential, or would you rather be with an established player who
But this has
all-star potential,
nothing. This
who
has
all-star
nothing to
potential
do with
every year.
Rookie of the Year. This has nothing to do with Rookie of the Year. Rookie of the Year is not. I don't know why we're talking about their teammates. I brought up the fact that Jaden Ivey is going to be overshadowed by a number one overall pick last year. Number one overall pick last year by he was injured, but that's clearly the guy in Detroit. Jaden Ivey shares the same position as him, so you cannot see Jaden Ivey cannot realize his potential when he's not going to have the ball in his hand like a point guard should. Now, Keegan Murray, MVP of the Summer League, I mean, he plays forward. So to have a great distributor like De'Aaron Fox, that is an entirely different story. I mean, De'Aaron Fox complements Keegan Murray's game as being a distributor to a young forward versus 2 point guards on the same team. Cade Cunningham will overshadow Jaden Ivey, and Jaden Ivey I do not see him winning Rookie of the Year. I think he's a great player. I just don't see how he can win Rookie of the Year over guys that are going to have a more significant role.
Well, you're mentioning that they're both point guards. Jaden Ivey is going to be playing the 2 in Detroit. He's going to be the shooting guard.
But I'm saying his natural position in college is a point guard. So you're
Yeah.
asking a guy to change a position and not have the ball in his hand as much as he is used to. It's very risky of a pick,
I agree with
would
you.
think.
I think that there is a lot of what ifs in this Jaden Ivey pick. I don't disagree with you, but I believe in his skill set. Again, when he was in the draft, I wanted my Knicks to go all in on him. I would have traded the whole bank. I would have traded the whole entire team to go pick Jaden
It's
Ivey.
not worth much.
No, yeah.
But I'm just saying, I would have
Probably
traded
coulda
anything
gotten
to go.
a
I would
Diet
have
Coke in
traded
the second
anything
round.
to go pick Jaden Ivey in the draft. I think that his skill set, obviously behind Paolo, I think he's one of the best skill sets in the draft, and I just think he's undeniably he can make a big impact and has potential to be the rookie of the year. That's all I'm saying. But I agree with the points Matt made, 100%.
I mean, okay. Well, I mean, this is all hypotheticals. We've never seen these guys play in an actual
Yeah.
game. I'm just taking the Summer League MVP who's going to have, really no competition for a starting job. I just think Keegan Murray is the guy. But I can see all of the picks so far.
Yeah, and for me to finish off the Rookie of the Year, I'm going to agree with Jaden. I think it's Paolo Banchero. Just the sheer kind of one-on-one scoring ability he has, whether it's in the post, his post moves are incredible. His driving and finishing are unmatched in terms of the prospects this year. And even his passing and playmaking at that 4 slot, I think Paolo Banchero is going to make a massive impact very early on. I think he's the most polished player in the draft, and I think that's why I got him winning Rookie of the Year. So we're going to move on to 6th Man of the Year. This is a bit of a weird award just because you never know where guys are going to be slotted in the lineup. So we could probably run through this fairly quickly. So Jaden, who do you got at 6th Man?
I got Jordan Poole. I mean, he hasn't established himself in the starting lineup yet. I mean, he should be starting, obviously, but he's in a pretty loaded Warriors roster right now. So I'm assuming he's going to be coming off the bench. So he's definitely my 6th Man of the year.
Jock.
I agree with Jaden, front runner for 6th Man of the year on DraftKings. 100%. It should be Jordan Poole. There's zero reason why it shouldn't be. I completely agree that it should be Jordan Poole. I just want to mention one other name, which is a guy, Buddy Hield, on my sleeper pick, the Indiana Pacers. Could make a big impact off the bench. Never know.
Whoa.
I'll let you go.
Yeah,
I know what you're about to say.
I want to feel the joy of calling him out this time. Jock, you said that Tyrese Halliburton and Buddy Hield are going to be one of the most underrated backcourts in the NBA. Is Buddy Hield not starting?
Yeah, but there's a guy named Chris Duarte, too, in that backcourt. So,
all right. So on
it
the
is
rare
all I'm
time when
saying,
Chris is injured or fouled out, then they'll be a very solid.
yeah. Well, again, what we said before, we're not sure how these guys are going to place in their lineups. I think Buddy Hield on opening night will be in the starting lineup, but down the stretch of the season, you have to take into account that if Benedict Mathurin's playing well through the season, they're going to start him. I mean, that's how it is. Same thing with Chris Duarte. Chris Duarte showed flashes of a great player last year, and he could easily be the starter. And there's these vets. We see these guys with tons of skill sets that are just benched, and they are the 6th man. I mean, again, I'm not disregarding. I think Jordan Poole should be the guy, but I'm just saying that don't be surprised if Buddy Hield makes a push for it by the end of the year.
I'll be surprised.
I want to throw a stab at you guys. We saw the Lakers acquiring Patrick Beverley. Can we see Russell Westbrook as becoming a 6th man?
No. He's the
No?
starter.
You think he's the starter?
if he comes off the bench, he's the sixth man of the year. But
Yeah, I think if he
don't
comes off the
think-
bench, he might be a 6 man of the year.
I
He
mean,
got a lot. I
Okay.
got
just
way too
don't-
much hate last year for me.
Okay. Yeah. Can we just point out the horrendous year Russell Westbrook had last year? He is so awful. Like, I can't deal with him. He is atrocious. And honestly, like at the moment, I would rather Pat Bev. Just because the fact Pat Bev. But, like,
no.
Russell Westbrook is so awful. I don't get why people still think he's good. I get in his prime, the Westbrook lovers. I get it. He was great in his prime. This is 2021 Russell Westbrook. He is atrocious.
That is not the year. It is 2022.
Okay, well, I'm looking at last year.
Yeah,
This
he's
is
talking about
supposed to be
last
this year, right?
And
I
this
mean,
year
Jock-
could be
Last year,
2023
this year,
season.
pretty close. I can't see him shooting more.
2
Like
years old.
he
2
is
years
just
off.
awful. And in that Lakers team, he just doesn't. I don't know what it is. Maybe just doesn't fit the system.
He doesn't.
not
he
a right
doesn't. You're
fit.
right.
Yeah, no, you're right about that.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not worth the $44 million a year contract, but I do want to bring up his stats. I think people give him way too much hate just because of the awful
Thank
low lows he
you.
has.
Thank
He
you.
averaged 19 points, 7.5 rebounds, and 7 assists on 45% shooting last year. I mean, the
He shot
30%
45%
three-point
from
shooting
the
isn't
field?
great. What was that, Jock?
You shot 45% from the field.
Yes.
This is a classic moment
Right.
of a Russell Westbrook hater who saw him hit the side of the
I-
backboard.
No,
on-
I find that very
Instagram?
surprising. I find that very surprising.
For me, I was a Russell Westbrook hater. I think I always thought once the athleticism leaves him, he's going to turn into something awful. And then people kind of jumped over me and hate him way more than I thought I would have. So now I'm becoming a defender of Russell Westbrook, which I never thought would happen.
Yeah. I agree with you, Chadwick. I was a Russell Westbrook hater. I thought he was like complete trash. He was washed out. I mean, he was out of his prime. But now I'm starting to see with like the addition of Patrick Beverly had me look up Russell Westbrook's stats. And Russell Westbrook's stats, I mean, they're not terrible.
No.
Off the bench, I'm eager to see what he would do if he came off the bench.
So am I. And like I said before, $44 million a year, I would be heated with what he's doing too. I'm not going to put it past that, but he's not a bad player. He's not dropping like 2, 4, and 5 a game. Like 18, 7.5, and 7 is a very good stat line to have, especially at 32, 33, whatever he's at. So I think Russell Westbrook is getting way too much hate. Matt, I think you still got to give us your 6th man.
Yeah, 6 man. I'm gonna go either Jordan Poole or Andrew Wiggins. I think whichever is on the bench. I mean, at this point, it looks like Andrew Wiggins is gonna be the guy who's gonna be starting on a daily basis. But just Jordan Poole's performance down the stretch in the playoff, I think, overshadowed Andrew Wiggins. So if there's ever any sort of switch, one of those two guys for me, whoever's on the bench.
Yeah, and for me to wrap it up, I think I got Christian Wood. For some reason, they're saying that he's going to come off the bench. I don't know if this is for the full season, but if it is, I think it's definitely going to be Christian Wood. He dropped 18 points, 10 rebounds, a couple assists on 50% shooting with the Rockets last year. With Luka, I think he only gets better. They were desperately in need of that high screen guy for Luka to use, and I think Christian Wood is the perfect 4 or 5 for them in that Dallas Mavericks offense.
I just want to ask one question real quick, Ben. Like, obviously, Luka Doncic is a big upgrade from anyone on the Rockets, but do you think Luka's game is going to benefit Christian Wood more than take away the ball from his hands?
Yes.
I can believe it too. I just wanted to hear your opinion.
I mean, I don't have the stats right in front of me, but didn't Luka drop 10 or 11 assists last year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Luka has amazing court vision. He sees the
Wood,
court very
Wood
well.
had to deal with Jalen Green, who I'm a massive hater on. We'll get through that. Well, we're not going to hit it today. We're already going way over schedule. Yeah, we'll hit on my hate for Jalen Green later, but Jalen Green is a ball hog. We can all agree on. So I think it will benefit Christian Wood in the long run. But there's a lot of disagreements. We might not have time for this.
Nah, hold on. I just want to bring up one more point about the 6th man of the year. Honestly, everyone has been sleeping on Miami for the past couple of years, and they've been in the playoffs. So I just want to throw in Tyler Hero. Tyler Hero coming off the bench, I think he could definitely improve the Heat squad. I mean, he's been doing it the past couple of years now with Kyle Lowry, Bam Adebayo. I think the Heat are into some great success with Tyler Hero around.
And he might even be a favorite among everyone if you survey him. Not betting or anything like that. Just if you surveyed him, He might even be the favorite out of everyone.
He is the odds-on favorite. He is the odds-on favorite.
It's Jordan
Yeah.
Poole's. I literally
Not-
looked it up right before this. Jordan Poole is the favorite on DraftKings.
That's the fantasy. That's
we're
the
not
betting.
gonna-
That's
we're
the
not
betting
gonna-
part. That's the betting part.
Yeah, we don't want to mention any of that, so the show can keep going. We're gonna
Okay.
head over to most improved player. Jaden, who is your most improved player coming into this year?
Most improved player. I'm gonna go Zion Williamson. Zion Williamson on a full year. Hopefully, he can stay healthy throughout the year. I think he improves the Pelicans so much. CJ McCollum by his side. CJ McCollum. I mean, Zion could get rebounds, pass out to CJ, or he could go up with it for himself. I think Zion Williamson is a force for the Pelicans.
Yeah, there shouldn't be any argument with that, Jock.
Oh, there is an argument. There is an
Oh,
argument.
all right.
There most
agree.
definitely is an
I agree.
argument.
There's an argument.
Um,
Go for it then.
All right, go on, John.
Matt, you want to go first? No,
yeah,
Matt, you
for
go first.
sure.
One.
I mean, let's look at the last full season we had of Zion. 27 points on 61% shooting with 7 rebounds and 4 assists a game. How could you possibly improve so greatly from that? I mean, we know he's a superstar. In 2020, he was a superstar. For me, he would have to drop 33 a game with 11 rebounds and 4 assists. I just don't see that happening. That's ridiculous. I just can't see him improving. He was a superstar in 2020. How much more is he going to prove this year to the point where he's going to be the most improved player?
Yeah,
I
Jaden,
think-
I'll let you answer back.
Yeah. I think he can improve with more rebounds and more assists. I mean, on a full year, and we're talking. I mean, the stats you brought up, he was injured for most of the season, and
Not
now
61 games. He played
61
61 games.
Okay, he was still hurt a little bit, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, he played 61 games.
Yeah. Okay. So with CJ McCollum by his side, honestly, I think that he could improve on getting way more rebounds and more assists because he can get the rebounds, pass it out to CJ, and CJ could obviously hit a shot. That's where I see him improving as.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think the interesting thing about most improved player is I think if it was termed maybe comeback player of the year like the NFL has it.
Yeah.
I think Zion would run away with that. Most improved, I actually am going to agree with Freeman. It is kind of tough if we're just looking at the last time he played and the stats he put up. Then it gets kind of iffy on if you can give Zion the award. But it all depends on how you look at it.
Can I please comment? Yeah. To be honest, another player for me, I'd go with Jalen Brunson. I mean, Jalen Brunson coming to the Knicks. Giacomo, please put it down. Jalen Brunson, honestly, him in New York spotlight. I don't know why, but I don't know if the Knicks fans are getting to me, but I could just see him taking on the spotlight, becoming that offensive player that they need because obviously Julius Randle is not doing anything for them. So I think Brunson can be the one for the Knicks. I mean, I'm not saying that he's going to become the top player at the Knicks. I'm just saying that he can improve way more with the blue and orange.
Yeah, it's also just the sheer volume he's going to see in New York compared to what he saw in Dallas with Luka playing right by his side. So, Jock, I'll go to you for your most improved player.
Jalen Brunson was obviously the guy I wanted to throw some mention at, but it's not my top guy. My top guy, I'm going to go back to my sleeper pick, is Tyrese Halliburton. You're talking about a guy who averaged 15.3 points per game. I think a lot of people sleep on this guy. He averaged 15 points a game last year on a not great team, and he gets traded to this Indiana Pacers team where, again, it's similar type to Jalen Brunson. He's going to see so much more volume in this team. He really does not have competition at all. He really didn't on his previous teams either, but I'm just saying he's going to have even more volume, and the only guy that's really going to be contributing on this Pacers team to winning is Miles Turner, who's already a great established big in the league, especially defensively. But again, Miles Turner isn't a great scorer. I just think that the volume is going to be there, and also I think his assist numbers are going to go way up this year.
Sure, Matt.
All right. So it pains me to say this, but I agree with Jock right there. I mean, I think Tyrese and Jalen Brunson, as a matter of fact, are both going to be guys who are going to have expanded roles. I mean, the ball's going to be in their hands. Neither team has, real playoff aspirations. Maybe some delusional fans out there think the Knicks and the Pacers are going to do something this year, but just not going to happen. Also, I'm not going to get to that. I just think we definitely need to clip the Tyrese, Buddy Hield's top backcourt, or or a very underrated backcourt in the league because every time the Pacers are brought up, he seems to be forgotten with Jock. But I'll go to my most improved player. I'm gonna go again. It's another bit of a homer pick, but I'll say Brandon Clark. Jaren Jackson Jr. is going to be out for the first handful of games to begin the year, so he's going to have an expanded role. And I mean, with the youth of the Grizzlies, I think they're going to begin to stray away from Steven Adams. They just extended Brandon Clark, so it's clear that they want him to be, centerpiece in this organization. So I think with the absence of Jaren Jackson Jr. in the beginning of the year, you'll see his true potential, and then I believe he'll shine a little bit and eventually push out.
Of Jalen Brunson. How do you feel with RJ Barrett becoming the most improved player? Adding Jalen Brunson, can pass the ball to RJ Barrett, or RJ can pass to him. How do you feel with RJ Barrett becoming the most improved player?
With RJ Barrett becoming like him winning the award of most improved player?
Yes.
Oh, it could definitely be seen. I mean, obviously, I think that there's several guys that would be ahead of him just in general that I would think would be more in that category for most improved player. But for RJ Barrett to become the most improved player, obviously his efficiency on shooting needs to go way up. He's had flashes where he has been a good shooter throughout the season, but if we're looking at long-term numbers, he's not the most efficient shooter. And also, I feel he needs to work a lot more off the dribble. He's really just been a catch and shoot type of player from the corner. And I've watched him a lot. A lot of the shots he's taken are just three balls. It's all he's taken, really. And then you'll see the occasional drive where he'll maybe dunk it once or twice. But I mean, he needs to learn how to create his own space a little bit more. And I feel like I would need to see more out of him to say before I could say that he could be the most improved player.
You do not pay Jalen Brunson $25 million a year if you want RJ Barrett to start creating his own shot off the dribble.
Yeah.
That's one. And two, there is no way ever that RJ Barrett's winning most improved player of the year. He averaged 20 points a game last year.
You know how old he is, Matt?
Well, I mean, I don't care how old he is. You're going to tell me he's a superstar? Right.
No.
Right now, last year he averaged 20 points a game, 6 rebounds, 3 assists.
I think
how
RJ
is he
Barrett
going
is
to
very slept on. RJ Barrett's also 23 years old. He has plenty of time to develop as a player. You look at a guy like Andrew Wiggins, who was not that great and became a great role player. He could have easily been the most improved player over the past couple of years.
I mean, Andrew Wiggins is also playing alongside he's playing in probably the best system. It's definitely a top 3 system of all time in the NBA.
I agree with you, and that makes him shine a little bit more. But, I mean, I think either RJ Barrett could get traded to a great system and he can become most improved, or I feel like the Knicks are going to keep expanding on their talent. I think that there's big things to come from my Knicks coming soon.
I just don't like the hypotheticals. I don't like if he gets traded. I don't
like your hypothetical. Jaren Jackson Jr. is out for a week, and Brandon Clark's going to win most improved player.
Jaren Jackson Jr. is going to be out for the first 20 games of the year at least. That's not a hypothetical.
Okay, 20 games. There's 82 games in a regular season.
And then he will. And okay, we just signed Brandon Clark to a large extension. Steven Adams is not the big man of the future for the Grizzlies. Brandon Clark is. It's not far-fetched at all, especially when you give Brandon Clark the first third of the year to start with no competition. It's definitely not far-fetched to say he's going to be the most improved player of the year, if not one of the most improved players of the year.
I don't need to take – I'm just saying one last thing. I think that there's a lot of players in this category that could fit this description this year.
Okay. Well.
That's a fair point. So I guess I'll throw one of those players out there that Jock just mentioned falls into that giant category. For me, it's going to be Tyrese Maxey. He played very well. If we're talking about stats, I put up 17.5 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists. But for me, I think James Harden takes a massive step up in that playmaking role. We've seen that he's able to do it, and I think Maxey turns into that second guy in terms of scoring behind Joel this year. So I'm seeing maybe 20, 24, 25 points, maybe a bit of a step up in rebounds, and maybe 6 or 7 assists. So that's the type of year I'm expecting from Tyrese Maxey, and I think that's more than enough for him to win most improved.
I love that.
We'll move on to the big 2 awards to wrap up the show. Jaden, how about you start us off with Defensive Player of the Year?
Defensive Player of the Year. I got 2 for you. I got Giannis Antetokounmpo and Bam Adebayo. I mean, Giannis is just crazy in the NBA. He's really the Greek freak. I mean, he's defending everyone, blocking shots, snatch blocking. I mean, he's an animal. He's a freak of nature. I mean, honestly, Greek god. Let's be honest. Bam Adebayo. I mean, he's great defensively. He's another one that I'm telling you guys. All of us have been sleeping on the Heat. The Heat have been in the playoffs like for the past 2 to 3 years. Honestly, I think everyone has been sleeping on the Heat. Bam Adebayo is a key leader for the Miami Heat, and I think he's just going to continue, and he's a great defender.
Sure, Jock.
I'm going to be nice and short. Jaden took my two guys. Giannis and Bam Adebayo are my two. I think Giannis is just the guy. That's simple enough. And we've seen Bam lock down these elite centers. Obviously not the biggest, most physical guy on the court, but just great hands. He's very quick with his feet. Just overall, just a great defender. And those are my two guys.
All right, Matt.
Yeah, so I'm really hoping that, the league just last year, Marcus Smart winning the award is just unbelievably terrible, I believe. So I'm really hoping we actually pick the right guy this year. I think the right guy is going to be Rudy Gobert. I mean, we didn't see him win last year. It's been a Rudy Gobert award for a little while now. So I just think, in Minnesota, I think their defense is definitely going to take a step up. I'm concerned about how Karl-Anthony Towns responds, but it's an individual award, and I think Rudy is just going to be a centerpiece to the defense, sending shots back in the paint.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more about Marcus Smart. I think it was kind of voters fatigue, if we're being honest. That's why they had to give it to someone else. And to be honest, I'm going to get into voters fatigue for my MVP award in a little bit. But yeah, I'm going to have to agree with you, Matt. I got Rudy winning this award too. I don't think the difference in system changes how he plays too much. I think he's going to still produce like he did in Utah. I think he probably deserved at least 3 of the last 4 DPOYs. He didn't get it last year. But a stat I kind of like to use is wins above replacement. He's been the most valuable defender 4 of the last 5 years. So, I mean, Rudy Gobert is just unmatched in that defensive category. There's not much debate about it. He keeps winning the awards. I don't know how much you can really say trying to argue against it. So I think that's going to lead us right into our last prompt of the day. Jaden, start us off with your MVP prediction for the 2022-2023 NBA season.
I have 2 again for you guys. Luka Doncic. Luka Doncic is amazing. I mean, he's big and he does everything like a guard. The second one for you, Giannis Antetokounmpo. Like I said before, he's crazy for the NBA. He's amazing on the court, blocking everything. No one can stop him. Honestly, in my eyes, I can't say anyone who can stop him from getting to the rim. In my opinion, what do you guys think?
Yeah, I see nothing wrong with that.
Right,
there's really a solid like 4 or 5 guys. As long as we mention those guys, I don't think there should be much quarrel about it here. So, Jock, we'll go to you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I'm going to name 2 guys as well. Obviously, I like Giannis pick, but he's not one of my top 2 guys. I'm a big Stephen Curry fan, and I got to go back to it. The year he just had was undoubtedly amazing last year, and I'm not saying he's not my number 1 pick for MVP. I'm about to get to him in a second, but I think he definitely deserves more mention for this MVP award than he's getting. But my guy, my Mavs guy, I love the Luka pick this year. We've talked about it for years and about how he could prosper as a player and easily become the MVP. I think this is the year he finally gets it done.
All right.
Yeah.
Luka, not much disagreement. I saw some disagreeing faces for Curry. If you guys want to explain your thoughts on that real quick.
I mean,
Yeah.
Curry.
We'll go Jaden first, yeah.
All right, so Curry just has so much around him that like he's destined for success.
Okay.
I mean, you're seeing all these other guys who don't have that many stars around him and are still producing great numbers.
All right. I'm just going to say one thing about that then. I mean, obviously, Giannis is so much more talented, but Giannis has very valuable pieces around him. People sleep on Chris Middleton all the time. He's an all-star. Chris Middleton.
You can't compare Chris Middleton to Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, Jordan Poole. Those are that's just
Andrew
I'm not
Wiggins.
saying that. I'm just
Andrew
saying
Wiggins.
that.
So then what
I'm
are you
just
saying?
that
What are you
undoubtedly
saying?
you got to look at the year Steph Curry just had last year.
It
He
was-
had a great year, but you're ignoring. I agree 100% with Jaden's argument. You said Chris Middleton, great, like
He's an all-star.
all-star at his peak.
Yep.
But we're also looking at Jordan Poole, Andrew Wiggins,
Yeah.
Draymond Green, and Klay Thompson.
I never said Curry didn't have more pieces around him. I'm just saying that Giannis.
But
is
why?
the best
Like, why would you
We're
even
not-
bring? Why would you bring up Chris Middleton if you know that Curry's supporting cast just
is
Yeah.
way better.
blows the
Doc-
Bucks out of the water? But like, I don't even understand why you would bring that up.
Jock, Curry could be the best player in the NBA, but just with the pieces around him, he's not going to be deserving of the MVP award because you can attribute to so many other guys.
By my definition of an MVP, I think you need to. I don't believe that it's gonna be very difficult for Curry to win the MVP when he had like 4 stars that were playing alongside him. It's very hard for me to pick him as the most valuable player.
I mean, real quick, Matt, before we get to your guy, I mean, let's think of the other candidates. I mean, Giannis, we already mentioned, has Middleton and Holiday. That pales in comparison to the Warriors. Jokic has Jamal Murray, maybe Michael Porter Jr. That pales in comparison to the Warriors. Luka Doncic has Christian Wood, who might not even be starting, as I mentioned before. That pales in comparison to the Warriors. Like, that's kind of the point we're trying to make.
Porzingis is also very slept on.
What is that going to do? That's going to. I mean, you already mentioned Luka. So how are you arguing against him?
Yeah.
Jaden, we'll go to you before we hit Matt.
Okay, I want your guys' opinion on this because I'm thinking I have this feeling Kevin Durant is gonna have an amazing year this year. I mean, I feel the chemistry with Kevin Durant, Kyrie, and Ben Simmons. I think they could honestly take over the East. I want your guys' opinion on what do you think if KD could win the MVP this year?
I'll start us off. For me, it's the same argument we were making before. There's just the pieces around him. I think Kyrie is going to take so much possession of the ball. Ben Simmons is not incredible on offense, but he'll still drop a solid 15, 16 points a game. So KD, like Curry, he could be one of the best players in the league, but just with those guys around him, it's going to be tough for him to make a case for that MVP award.
1,000%. Couldn't agree more.
I agree.
All
right, so Matt, we'll go over to you then for your MVP.
Yeah, so my number one option, who I think's who has the highest chance to win, I think it's going to be Giannis. I mean, he didn't get it last year, obviously. He looks like, he's going to be one of the all-time greats. He's still young, but he's entering his prime years probably this year. He's just a boring pick, though. So that's my main pick, but I'd also like to mention Jason Tatum. I think he's a centerpiece in a very young Boston Celtics organization. I think he's, only getting better, still a very young player. You saw it in the playoffs last year, absolutely carried the Celtics. He, again, does have a very good supporting cast, but it's not to the extent of, like, having Kyrie and Ben Simmons or having Klay, Draymond, Jordan Poole, and Andrew Wiggins. I mean, he has solid players around him. But I think his supporting cast is good enough to elevate his game to the point where he can be an MVP caliber player, but it's not good enough to draw so much attention like the Warriors supporting cast, like the Nets supporting cast.
Jock, you're shaking your head. You want to go at him real quick?
Not really. I don't hate the Tatum pick. I just want to make the same argument that people have been making about Luka for years. I just think he's too young. Obviously, he did just take a not that great Celtics team to the Eastern
You're killing me, Jock. Keep going, but yeah, because you just said I'm going to make the same argument people make against Luka,
and you pick Luka
for MVP.
I'm saying in years previous, people have said Luka's too young. I think this is the year.
Right.
Oh my God.
But I'm saying this year, I feel like Tatum's still too young, and again, you just got to think of these top guys in the league that could win MVP. And no one even mentioned Jokic yet.
So, hey, come on, let me go.
All right, relax yourself.
Well, I'm sorry. Luka Doncic is 23 and Jason Tatum is 24.
Okay, but you're gonna tell me Jason Tatum's a better player than Luka Doncic?
No. We're not doing this now. Okay, you told me
they're both very young.
No.
Okay, but Luka Doncic is a much more established player.
Is a younger player. You told me that Jason Tatum is younger, so therefore he cannot win MVP. I never said
Luka Doncic wasn't young. I'm just saying Luka Doncic is more of an established player than Tatum is.
But no. That's not what you said. You told me that Jason Tatum, similar to how Luka Doncic was in years past, is too young. But
You
Jason
have to
Tatum is
realize
older than
how-
Luka.
But you have to realize how ahead of his game Luka
No.
No.
When we're talking about when you bring up age, and it's just completely just not true. Like it's the other way around. I don't understand how you could nullify Jason Tatum's MVP status when he was drafted before Luka. He is older than Luka.
He's not better
explain
than
to
him.
me. But that's not
with
not
the worst
the
cast,
question.
with the worst supporting
not the
cast.
But that's not the question. What I'm talking about right now is how you tried to debunk my Jason Tatum pick by saying that Jason Tatum is too young. He is older than Luka and has more NBA experience than Luka. So I don't understand how Jason Tatum is not explain to me, because your argument was that he's too young. This is not obviously just not true. How is Jason Tatum not an MVP caliber player this year? I think Giannis is gonna win it, but how is Jason Tatum not an MVP caliber player?
I agree with you. I think Giannis is going to win it. But all I'm saying is that in my eyes, I believe that Luka Doncic is clearly the more established player, and he's very ahead of his age. Is my point.
Sure.
Like if you look at Luka
that's fine
Doncic,
to say. That is okay to say.
if you look at Luka Doncic as a player, he is an established player in the league. I feel like Jason Tatum is still a very good player.
He took his team to the finals last year with no real superstar. Beside him, he's 24 or 20.
I'm not.
24.
I'm not the biggest Jason Tatum fan, but you can't deny of how much of a superstar he is. He is an amazing player in our league. I'm just saying, if you're looking at MVP odds, Luka Doncic has a much better chance to win it than Jason Tatum.
Oh, whoa!
Don't get into the odds, Jock. Odds are not a thing here.
The odds, yeah,
they don't exist.
Odds are not a thing here.
You can't go by odds to say.
I don't even know what those are. Let's just stop mentioning it.
Okay. Oh yeah, I don't know what that word means, so I can't comment on that.
Friedman. I honestly love your pick. I feel like Jason Tatum is a great player for this generation. Honestly, if Jason Tatum continues to be the way he is, I think he could be one of the top players. Well, he already is one of the top players. I think he could be the top player at a certain point in his game. A lot of people are sleeping on the Celtics. I get new coaching. I still think the Celtics are going to be very good this year.
So I appreciate you. And also, I mean, a lot of Grizzlies talk from me. Ja, maybe. I'm hoping.
I know you're going to say it.
No,
that's more of a wish.
I want to talk about a situation. You can't be going Jason Tatum.
No, I know. It's a hopeful pick.
Dude, can I tell my honest opinion right now? I really think that Ja Morant is going to be the next Derrick Rose. I mean, Ja has the decent outside shot.
Don't wish injury on.
I'm not wishing injury. I'm just saying, Derrick Rose, he had the shot just like Ja Morant. He has the shot, but they all drive into the paint, which is going to cause a lot of health problems for your body. That's all I'm saying.
I'll say Ja does. I mean, he jumps out of the gym like really no one we've ever seen before. The way he lands is very scary. He likes to you can't jump 45 inches. You have 45-inch vertical and then land awkwardly on one leg. Thank God he's had no real injury problems with his Achilles, with his ACL. But I do agree he's got to it's just not sustainable. He's got to make some sort of fix to his game to preserve himself a little bit. But yeah, I agree with you there.
Yeah. So guys, I'm gonna wrap it up. Jock, you mentioned it before. How has no one mentioned Jokic? He's my pick. I mentioned it with Matt before. The voters fatigue. I hate it so much because people just get sick of giving the same award to the same players. But Jokic has been so deserving of the past 2 MVPs. He's only gotten better throughout the years. So I don't know how you can't say he will be at least one of the most deserving players this year. I mean, guys, last year he dropped 27, 14, and 8 on 58% shooting, as well as a steal and a half and a block. That is an unreal stat line. And I mentioned wins above replacement before. Past 2 years has been the most valuable player according to that. So for me, I'll make it short. Jokic is my guy. And I think Jamal Murray will actually help him, especially in that assist category and especially with the team success, because that plays a part in people giving the award out for MVP. So for me, it is Nikola Jokic of the Denver Nuggets.
I agree with you.
100% agree. I like the insight on Jamal Murray. I mean, I don't think his return is going to hurt Jokic whatsoever in terms of his numbers. I think two things that I think really the two things that hurt Jokic going into this year and in previous years was his team was never really the elite team in the West, and also just his it's hard to win 3 in a row. It's hard to win 2 in a row, but 3 in a row is almost impossible. So I think the Nuggets will ascend to be better seed than in years past. But yeah, I agree with your pick 100%.
Also, one more thing I just want to point out real quick about that Nuggets team is we're forgetting that Michael Porter Jr. is coming back off of injury. People forget how talented this guy is. Michael Porter Jr. can drop 30 points on any given night, let's be honest. Like, obviously, he won't with Jokic in the same lineup as him, but Michael Porter Jr. has so much skill that people just always forget about.
I loved him as a prospect, too. I was getting worried about him possibly being a bust, but he's shown flashes in the NBA, so I'm hoping he could stay like that and live up to the ceiling that his kind of scouting report showed us. But guys, I think if anyone else doesn't have anything to say, I think that's going to wrap it up for the very first episode of the NBA season preview. We're having many more episodes to come. As I mentioned, playoff predictions coming up. So for Jaden Hunter, Giacomo Imperiali, Matt Friedman, I'm Ben Chadwick. Thanks for watching.